Good morning. Hello, hello. Just waiting a couple of minutes for more of you to join. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hello, mom with kids. How are you? Good morning, Maria. Good morning, everybody. Oh, I'm so glad you guys are here. I have a very cool topic. And so tell me, guys, I'm going to get right into it because I have been thinking a lot about the Saturn Pluto conjunction in Capricorn that's coming up in January. And if you are a client of mine, if you've ever consulted with me, especially recently, I have absolutely addressed this with you in your personal consultation because it is palpable. It is so relevant to all of you in your life in some way. And it's important for us to talk about so that you could really use this difficult astrology for the greatest transition and empowerment in your life. And make no mistake about it, guys, this is difficult, but it is powerful and it's going to take you to a whole new level in your life if you can work with the energy. Hello from the Netherlands. Wow, what time is it in the Netherlands? I don't even know, but thank you for coming. Thank you for stopping by and saying hello. Okay, so if you're new to my channel, welcome. My name is Maria D. Simone. I am a professional astrologer. You can learn more about me and my work by visiting insightfulastrology.com. Click the link in the description box below later on if you want to connect with me in a personal consultation. Obviously, if you're on this channel, then you might know that I do some videos on astrology. Definitely check out your August monthly horoscope. And if you haven't been to my website, go there, sign up for my free newsletter because I do give special offers often to newsletter subscribers. So just go check it out, become a newsletter subscriber. And again, thank you all for your support. Now, oh, the Philippines. Wow, I've got Palm Beach, the Netherlands, and Philippines all saying hello to me. Hello to everybody. Wow. Okay, my Sag moon is in her glory right now with all of you people. Barcelona. Pittsburgh. Okay, I seriously am so giddy right now finding out where all you people are from. You're distracting me. All right, so let's talk about Saturn and Pluto conjunct in Capricorn. And tell me, guys, have you been hearing about this from other astrologers? Because if you follow astrology and you are someone who knows a little bit about your chart and about what's going on in the sky, you have definitely heard astrologers talk about this powerful and rare conjunction between Saturn and Pluto that has, and the south node of the moon also, okay? And I'm going to break all this down for you. So stick with me. And by the way, stay with me in this video because I am going to break this down for each of your signs, what this means for all of you. And I will try to do it relatively succinctly. And so, anyway, this is an extremely rare conjunction. Saturn and Pluto are slow moving planets. Now, Pluto takes about 246 years or so to go around the sun. That means last time Saturn was in Capricorn was hundreds of years ago. So you can imagine, well, you don't have to imagine, do the math. Saturn takes about 29 years to go around the sun. The last time Saturn was in Capricorn and made an exact conjunction to Pluto would have been hundreds of years ago, right? Right. Let's talk about what Saturn represents and what Pluto represents. Saturn is the planet of discipline, maturity, responsibility, and karma. Saturn is all about durability, about maturity, taking things for what they are, not for what you want them to be, but for the reality of any situation. Okay? So now that's Saturn. Pluto is the planet of death, rebirth, transformation. Pluto deals with intense matters of the darker side of our lives. So Pluto's no joke. Pluto is going to always challenge you to confront your shadow side so that you can heal from it, so that you could rise above it and transform out of it. Pluto, when it is used well, is the planet of healing and empowerment. But Pluto, in its own shadow, is all about control, manipulation, and it can be very dark and difficult of a planet to deal with. So now the sign of Capricorn is all about our traditions, our structures. Capricorn is an earth sign, very practical. Capricorn is all about ambition and reputation and one's status in life. It is the foundation. Think of the Three Little Pigs. Okay, that story where the one pig builds a house of straw and the big bad wolf comes and blows it right down. And then there's another pig that builds a house made of wood. The big bad wolf comes and blows it right down. But then the third little pig builds up this house slowly and steadily out of brick. And that pig took the time to lay a firm, solid foundation. So when the big bad wolf came to try to blow the house down, couldn't do it. He was huffing and puffing. So Pluto is the big bad wolf in this storyline of our Saturn-Pluto conjunction that we're talking about now. Pluto is the big bad wolf that's coming to blow down a house in your life. And we don't know, okay? You know, because you're living your life, but I don't know because I'm not talking to you personally. We don't know if you have built that house out of straw, out of wood, or out of brick. I can promise you that if you have built that house out of straw or wood, it's going down. If you have taken the time to build it out of brick from the beginning, then you're going to find this conjunction to be extremely empowering in your life. But more likely than not, you have not built this particular foundation in the way that you were meant to. And so Pluto's going to come and tear it down. Why? So that you can learn and recognize that that wasn't the right structure anyway. And it's a do-over. You've got to do this over. You've got to build a very powerful foundation in a certain area of your life. This is Saturn, Pluto in Capricorn. And so what I've been telling all of my clients, every single one of you who I've talked to, you've heard this out of my mouth. There is a certain area in your life that smells like rotting flesh. There is a certain area of your life where you know you're sitting there in this room of your personal house and you're staring at a dead body. The dead body is a part of you, and you smell the death. You smell the rotting flesh. And the Saturn-Pluto conjunction in Capricorn is calling all of us to call the time of death. To say, okay, game over. This dead body in my life, I have to bury it. If you resist burying this dead body, guys, it's going to be a lot harder of a transition. But you already know what dead body I'm talking about. And when I get to all of your signs and I start talking about the areas of your life where the Saturn-Pluto conjunction is hitting, you'll relate. You're going to relate, okay? Try to look at all your comments. I love doing the live streams because I love connecting with you, but then it gets so distracting when I want to communicate all the information and try to talk with you at the same time. But yes, okay, so you're relating to this. Good. I'm glad. So you're already understanding what I'm talking about. Okay, cool. So now let's talk about some astrology. Recently, this month, we had 2 eclipses, one in Cancer, one in Capricorn. The one I'm going to talk about now is the one that we just had on July 16th in Capricorn, because that eclipse is the one that's going to relate completely to the upcoming Saturn-Pluto conjunction. So now, on the 16th, we had a lunar eclipse at 24 degrees of Capricorn. And in January 12th of 2020, this is when we're having the exact Saturn-Pluto conjunction. And that's going to happen at 23 degrees of Capricorn. So, what do you think is going to happen? Well, the eclipse that we just had is going to be triggered and re-stimulated by that Saturn-Pluto conjunction in Capricorn that will occur on January 12th. So you are all getting a really good idea right now about where in your life you've got to call the time of death, where you're going to let go, where you're going to surrender, where the structures in your life are just not sustainable because the big bad wolf is going to come and blow them down. And this month is when you get that awareness, full force. If you don't do anything about it from now until January, when this conjunction hits, it will be more difficult for you to call the time of death, to bury the dead body, to move on in your life. But if you do confront this with maturity, with realism, with responsibility to your personal integrity and to your personal journey in life, then you're going to experience the power of a Saturn-Pluto conjunction. Because Saturn and Pluto together, when used in its best way, this is incredible resilience. This is an indomitable force. And so you can become an indomitable force in an area of your life, wherever this conjunction is. Okay? So Hamada Silva is saying, please let us know what we should do. Kindness, clarity, things like that. This whole video is telling you what you should do. So please listen carefully, because I really am guiding you on how to use this Saturn-Pluto conjunction in the best possible way for you, and how to maturely and responsibly call time of death in a certain area of your life and empower yourself to move forward, okay? There's nothing to fear here. Nothing. The fear that you're feeling right now is because you are holding on to an attachment that you believe still serves you. You still believe that you need this structure. You still believe that this foundation is going to sustain you. It's not. Once you are able to step outside of that fear and recognize that this is just not serving you anymore, this structure is mush. It is not the solid foundation that it needs to be. And once you get that, you're not going to focus on the fear. You're going to focus on, well, all right, let me get those tools and let me build the freaking structure from the beginning in the right way, brick by brick by brick by brick, so that no big bad wolf is going to destroy me. And that's what's going to happen. So, okay. Everybody is experiencing a death of a structure in their life in a certain way. Let's talk a little bit about your sun sign and rising sign and where this calling time of death, rotting flesh situation has to happen or is happening. So for Aries and Aries rising, this is occurring in your 10th house, the top of your chart, your reputation, your career. And so for all of you, there's something about your career path that you thought was solid and there are structures that are now crumbling. And that is not really something to be afraid of, because you have to remember, Aries, you guys are so entrepreneurial, so powerful, so able to make things happen. It's just that you tend to rush and be impulsive. And the Saturn-Pluto conjunction is, it's like this big, gigantic rock, an immovable force. And so for you guys, you have to learn and see that it's time to build a much more solid foundation in terms of your career. And there is some kind of structure in your professional life that is just not working anymore. And it's going to go. There will be some kind of a loss and some kind of surrendering to that. You're understanding it now. This eclipse that just happened is bringing this awareness to you, but you might need until January to implement it. Okay. Maria Renaud is saying, yes, it's difficult. Like, we don't have a magic wand. You do have a magic wand. You have astrology. That's your magic wand. Okay. So Taurus, for you guys, it's your ninth house. This is your beliefs, your integrity, your morals, your philosophy. So there is something about building a new structure around your philosophy, around your personal integrity, around how you communicate your special brand of wisdom. It is a big message. The ninth house is the guru. It's the professor. Okay, it's where you take all that information and you disperse it and turn it into wisdom. And so there is something that you're supposed to be letting go of and then rebuilding in a stronger, more solid way that allows you to be really in touch with your personal integrity, your morals, your philosophy and beliefs, and to communicate that effectively to others. Okay, so now Gemini and Gemini risings, this conjunction is falling in your eighth house. And the eighth house is other people's money. It's shared resources. So it is possible that you have not built a solid foundation when it comes to your long-term financial planning, or when it comes to how you are handling your finances. So some of you might be in some financial trouble. Maybe there's, it could be as bad as a bankruptcy or owing a lot of money in taxes or a lot of debt for some of you. And again, there is a surrendering to the way that you've been structuring your financial life, and you have to build a new foundation that is more solid. Okay. So that's what you guys are doing. Now, the other thing with this, with the eighth house, is the fact that the eighth house is connected to Pluto, and it is connected to healing and trauma and crisis and your deep power. So for some of you Geminis, you've got to rebuild a new structure in your life to help you heal, because the way that you've been trying to heal from something is not really effective. And so that has to be addressed for some of you. Now, oh, Julia says she misses my live streams from the beach. Can I just tell you, I have to be brutally honest. I moved into this house and now I have a pool in the yard, and now I'm just, I'm all about being in my house now. I have only been to the beach once so far, all season. And that was on Memorial Day with my daughter. That is the only day I've been to the beach. Now, that's not like me, right? You guys know I'm a total beach nut. But for whatever reason, I just haven't wanted to go to the beach. I've been distracted. I've been in my yard. I've been in my house. I've been enjoying getting to know my new neighborhood. So I'm sorry. I'm sure I'll get back to the beach eventually. But right now, I'm so about my home and being home. But anyway, all right, let's talk about Cancers, because, listen, Cancer, There's something about your spouse or partner or a business partner or a business alliance where the structure of this relationship, it's not working. It's crumbling. Now, I'm not saying that every Cancer out there is getting divorced or every Cancer out there is in a bad business arrangement, but there is something about your partner that is dying, or something about your relationship with your partner that is dying or needs to die. And I don't mean literal death, so stop, don't freak out on me. This is very symbolic energy. There might be a quality, there might be something in your actual relationship together is not solid and needs to be surrendered. And you need to say, okay, this is not how our marriage, how our business partnership is supposed to look. Let's rebuild. And let's rebuild in the badass brick house way. All right. So that's what you Cancers are doing. Now, Leo, this is health and this is your habits and your work. And, it's interesting because I both my kids are Leos and I have a lot of Leos in my life. Lots. And for some of you Leos, this is very specifically about health and about your habits and your body's a temple, and the foundations and how you've been caring for your body physically is just not helping and serving you. And you're starting to see, and it's this month that you're going to start to see it. You're starting to see that, oh, wait, I'm having this problem and I'm having this problem and I don't know where it's coming from. And you have to address it. And you're going to address it and you're going to have to be very responsible and disciplined about something in your health in order to create that brick house, which happens to be your physical body, Leo. Now, it can also be related to your habits and your routine and your work life. Something about the structures of your work life is changing in a significant way. Okay. So MLS is asking, what does it mean when Saturn-Pluto is conjunct the natal south node in the fifth? Well, I'm not going to talk about the natal south node in your fifth house, but I will talk about Virgo is next. Okay, so Virgo, we're talking about the fifth house. So apply this to you, MLS, but then I'm going to talk to everybody about what I think the south node adds to the Saturn-Pluto conjunction. Okay, so let me do Virgo first, and then I'm going to go to the south node, because you just actually reminded me. So thank you for that. So if you're Virgo or Virgo rising, this Saturn, Pluto, and South Node conjunction are all happening in your fifth house. And the fifth house is where you give love, where you experience joy and pleasure and creative self-expression. It is the house of children, and it is also your lovers and where you date. Now, I will tell you, if you have children, the structure of your relationship with your children is changing. There is a death to one way and an ability to build a really, really solid foundation to your relationship with your children and heal something. And I will say, Taurus and Virgos and the water signs, Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces, you guys are likely to experience this energy of the Saturn-Pluto conjunction in I don't want to say easier, but it is more compatible. So it's a more empowering expression for you. So Virgo, let's say you go through a death of your relationship with a lover. Out of that death, you're actually healing a deep wound from your past, many past lives, actually, when you consider the South Node. And you're able to build a new solid foundation for yourself between now and January, connected to love, connected to how to open your heart in the best possible way for yourself that is empowering. And the same goes with your relationship with children. The same goes with your creativity for Virgos, okay? So now let me take a minute and talk about the South Node phenomenon. Okay. Thank you, Jen. You're telling everybody to hit the like. Yes, hit the like. Hit the like and share and subscribe. Okay, so The south node, what is this whole connection? So the nodes of the moon, there's the north node and the south node. And they're just imaginary points in space, they're not planets. But the north node symbolizes your life path, your destiny, where you're going in your life. Whereas the south node symbolizes, and I'm talking about in your birth chart, your south node symbolizes where you've been, many past lives. Your past life accumulation of talents and also baggage that you might overuse because you're so good at it and it's so natural. And when you use too much of your south node, you're not moving towards your north node, which is uncharted territory for a lot of us. And it's a little intimidating. We're supposed to go towards our north node energy, but it's so much easier to fall into that south node. And the key in your natal chart is to balance the nodes of the moon. It's not to disown your south node. It is to learn how to use your south node qualities and talents as the vehicle to actualize your north node. And if you can figure that out, you've got the balance. Okay, so now let's talk about what it means to have this south node in Capricorn right now, conjunct Saturn-Pluto conjunction. And of course, this means the north node is in Cancer. So there's a big theme for all of us collectively about home and hearth and building our security and just letting go of old structures that are outworn and old karmic patterns. So I am seeing a lot of interesting stories with people that's connecting the south node next to Saturn, especially next to Saturn, because these are two very karmic placements and they're all about past life situations. So Saturn and the south node in Capricorn, it's talking about major structures that you were clinging to from your past in this life, but also in past lives. That Pluto is now saying, no, death, not working, not good, it's not okay. You have to let go of this. And so what it's bringing, if you're working with the energy, is a karmic resolution in whatever area of your life this Saturn-Pluto South Node conjunction falls. So also remember that in addition to building those structures and letting go, calling the time of death to the rotting flesh that you thought was a solid structure but really isn't, while you're doing this, you are rebalancing karma. You are actually working out some significant karmic situation pertaining to that house in your chart. Okay, so, and now I want to talk about Libra. Libra, you guys are having this in your fourth house of home and family. So there is definitely something about your home structures that you know is dead. Oh my gosh, it is so dead, literally dying, literally gone. For some of you, this could have to do with an actual relative or person in your life, but I'm really seeing this as you're living. It's not just a room for you, Libra, that there's rotting flesh. It's your whole house. There is something about your entire living situation, your entire family, domestic situation, that it's not working. It has to be rebuilt in a very structured, responsible way. And if you're avoiding it, if you're turning a blind eye to it, if it's just so stressful for you, Libra, that you don't want to see it, that you don't want to deal with it, your ass is going to get kicked in January. You guys, the cardinal signs are going to experience the Saturn-Pluto South Node conjunction in the harshest way, the most brutal way, because this is a conflicting energy. So Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn, you guys are getting the toughest karmic lessons. Aries, career, your reputation. Cancer, partnership. Libra, your home life. You have to understand, guys, it's not just me thinking of people I know with Libra and Libra rising. I talk to a lot of people in my practice. And so I am relating this to all the stories that I'm hearing and that I'm helping to counsel people through now. And you Libras are going through it with domestic death. Really, you really are. The way that your family life was is just unrecognizable now. And if you cling to what was, you're cheating yourself out of the possibility of being the person who can create the most solid empowerment in your family life and structure. Okay? So, Scorpio, for you guys, it's your mind, it's your communication, it's marketing, it's how you make decisions. So, there is something about the way that you communicate that it wasn't serving you, or it was, but now it isn't. And it's also a big lesson on knowledge is power, especially with Pluto moving through your third house, because Pluto is your ruler. And so it is the correct, responsible use of your voice, of your mind, of your knowledge, communicating it in a way that serves you long term for your foundations. Okay? So now, this might also be about remaking your environment. Something about your environment is not serving you, and it's got to die. So this could be your neighborhood. This could be, just people around you. It could have to do with siblings or cousins. It's not serving you. There has to be a change here with your environment when you have this conjunction in your third house. So Scorpios, you understand this now. It's July. The eclipse just happened. But between now and January, you're implementing these mental changes, these decisions that are going to empower you. And you're actually building a sound, structured, disciplined mind, like a will of steel. You have the ability, Scorpio, to develop this will of steel that can be used for good. And it's going to be your superpower. It really is going to be your superpower by January. So Sagittarius, it's your money. Oh my God. Okay. Something on your money is just falling apart. How you earn your money, how you use your talents and abilities. There is something about this that's just not sound, that's not structurally sound. Okay. So a big renovation has to happen, Sagittarius. And you guys are going through a process from now until January where you're letting go and calling time of death to a certain way of earning money. And then you have to remake it, and you're going to empower yourself to make money in a better way, in a more structurally sound, long-term way. That's the other thing about Saturn and Capricorn. This is slow, but it's long term. It is going to be absolutely long term. Whatever it is that you're building now, it's going to last. It has staying power. So remember that. Okay, so now Capricorn, you guys are like the star of the show with this conjunction. Capricorn, okay, I know a lot of Capricorns who are just completely reinventing themselves. You guys are, it's like you're questioning your entire reality, okay? Everything you thought about your life that you thought you could count on, that you thought was real, Capricorns are like, what the actual fuck is going on in my life? And your lives are profoundly changing, especially if you are later degree Capricorns and you're between 20 degrees to the end of the sign. You're really experiencing a major personal death. Your foundation is gone. You've already lost a lot of what you thought made you feel secure. Okay? And surrendering control to this process is hardest for you, Capricorn, harder than anybody else. But remember, you also have the power of resilience stronger than anybody else because this conjunction is happening in your sign. So if you can truly let go of fighting this death, you guys are smelling the dead body and you're trying to freaking resuscitate it. Don't try to resuscitate it because if you still are trying to resuscitate it, you're screwed. You have got to just completely walk away from a certain part of your life. And for some of you, it's not, it's every part of your life. I mean, everything. Walk away because it's not serving you. It's making you sick. And there is so much power in letting go, in walking away. And Capricorns, you have this gift by the new year with this conjunction that you're going to rise up. And you're going to have more respect than you've ever had before. So especially if you've had your character attacked, especially if you have felt that people have just been trying to tear down everything you've worked so hard to build for all these years or all your life. You guys are really going to get to the other side of that next year and find that you're unstoppable because you had the power to let go of everything that just isn't working in your life anymore. Rise, okay? So now, Aquarius, you guys, this is your hidden 12th house. This is about your hidden insecurities and fears. And what I find about Saturn going through the 12th house, which is what you're experiencing, especially in Capricorn, there's a fear of success or a fear of failure that needs to be confronted. And this is also a time of letting go of goals that you've had for yourself for all of your life or for a long time. And so Aquarius is going through this process now where, all right, you wanted to be an actress. You've been working your butt off to try to be an actress. And then all of a sudden you realize, I don't know if I want this anymore. And you have to be willing to walk away from something that you put so much effort and energy and time into, because that's just not where you're supposed to be building anymore. And the fear is that you've attached so much of your personal story and personal success to whatever this is for you that you're not sure about what's next and what's next in your identity. If you do let go of this. But Aquarius, I'm telling you, next year, you're going to have Saturn going into your sign. So you will be building that solid sense of self. But you got to let go of this first. And finally, Pisces. This is happening in your 11th house. The 11th house is all about your place in terms of social energy. It's all about receiving love and lovability. And so for you guys, you're letting go of your attachment to what other people think about you. There's that saying, what other people think of you is none of your business. And Pisces is learning this in a big way. And you're also letting go of any attachment to social structures that are just not working for you anymore. That you put, even if you've made a big investment in them, they're just not working for you anymore. So you're putting your time and your energy in the groups of people that you know are going to contribute to your brick house and take care of your brick house and not try to chip away at it. Okay? And this is also the lovability, Saturn, Pluto in the 11th house. Letting go of that fear that you have to provide so much structure to others in order to feel worthy of love. Let go of that. All right. So, guys, this was a little bit about calling your time of death in your personal life and horoscope based on the phenomenon of Saturn and Pluto conjunct in Capricorn, and a little bit about the South Node as well. And I thank you so much for joining me this morning. You guys are awesome. Wow. So much I have to read later. So please like, share, subscribe. Thank you all so much for supporting my channel. Don't forget to sign up for my newsletter. Go to insightfulastrology.com, get my free newsletter, because that's how you will get lots of special offers for personal consultations and other products that I offer and services. Classes, I teach classes, and I'm starting to accumulate a waiting list now for my beginner's class, which will start in January. I only teach once a year, and I cycle through a group of small students. I take them as far as they want to go. So I only accept brand new students in January for my beginner's teleconference class. It's on the phone. Anybody in the world can participate. Classes are recorded. If you want to be put on the list, go to my website and please shoot me an email. And so that class, I think registration will open in October or November. So thank you. Enjoy your day. And I will talk to you all very soon. Bye.